This is Evening News for Tuesday, February 11, 2014. I'm Samuel Subnandan. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. Man drops haversack with 16-gauge shotgun at Berbice. 209 persons tested using breathalyzer tests in 2013. Teen remanded after robbery spree in Berbice. CARICOM urges APNU's compliance on anti-money laundering bill. And border shopkeeper wanted for cocaine in Achar. And now for the news in detail. Police on Saturday were involved in a confrontation with a man of questionable character. Reports are, acting on a tip-off, Ranks conducted a patrol about number 65 village and saw Alvin Butch, also called Blacker, who is wanted by the police for a series of criminal offences in a clump of bushes in the vicinity of the Backlands. However, before the police could apprehend him, he ran into the thick vegetation in the Backlands and disappeared. A backpack dropped by the wanted man during the chase was retrieved by Ranks. Upon investigation, it was noted that a 16-gauge shotgun with one live round of ammunition was recovered. Police have confirmed that Budge is indeed a wanted criminal, and there will shortly be a wanted bulletin for his arrest. Leader of the Alliance for Change, AFC, Kemrat Ramjatan, said that his party is not concerned about the controversy involving the party's chairman, Nigel Hughes, who is alleged to have sold a mortgaged property. The details in this report.
The AFC leader dodged questions on Monday about the party's concern over these new allegations against its chairman. Ramjatan told reporters that he would not comment on the matter since it is before the court.
I'm not going to say it's any misconduct. I don't know. He has been, an action has been brought against him, and it being a court matter, I wouldn't comment on it.
The party's chairman, Nigel Hughes, has found himself in hot waters yet again, this time for allegedly selling a property to May's proprietor, Mayfield French Rodrigues, without indicating that loan payments were still owing to the Hand-in-Hand Mutual Assurance Company Limited. Asked whether he or the party's executive has met with Hughes to discuss these new allegations, Ramjatan responded saying that it is a personal matter.
I haven't had any discussions with him on the matter because it's a personal matter. Personal actions brought against members by other members is a thing that is ongoing, especially with people around this country. And so, quite frankly, we'll have to await the outcome of it.
Further asked if these new allegations, compounded by previous scandals against Hughes, will impact the AFC's image, the leader had this to say.
There is nothing to be concerned about. If indeed there is an answer that he will be filing or whatever it is, the court will be dealing with that. I am absolutely certain that it will be matter that he has an answer to, and that will be resolved shortly.
Rodrigues, through her attorney, filed an injunction on January 17th to stop the eviction which the insurance company moved to foreclose on as a result of Hughes' failure to settle the debt. More than 300 students gearing up for the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC examinations are at risk of displacement.
Some 209 persons have been tested for sobriety using the breathalyzer testing kits. This is according to Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi. More in this report. In a response to questions posed by Alliance for Change Executive Member Catherine Hughes, Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi has said that some 209 persons have been tested with the breathalyzer tests in 2013. He explained that 141 were charged with the offence of driving while under the influence of alcohol after taking breathalyzer tests. He further stated that out of the 141 charged, 134 were convicted of the offence. Another 7 persons were reprimanded and discharged. The figures gathered reflected that the Interior Police Divisions have the least recorded instances of breathalyzer tests. In the same vein, the D Division in Region 3 recorded the highest number of tests, done at 121, and also the highest number of prosecutions. The Home Affairs Minister also noted that only 3 divisions were equipped with the breathalyzer kits. Rohi added that plans are in place to acquire 40 additional kits and adequately equip the remaining police divisions. There was some amount of controversy over the use of the breathalyzer after issues were raised with regards to the police officers who would administer such tests. The issue was subsequently resolved after special officers were trained and assigned to breathalyzer testing. There were also concerns arising from the reluctance of the police officers to administer the test to drivers involved in recent road accidents. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. A teenager who is accused of stealing over $1 million altogether from several Barbicians after conducting different robberies was on Monday remanded after he made an appearance in the Wim Magistrates Court. 19-year-old Kishan Hebnot of number 65 village was slapped with 6 charges and sent packing to the New Amsterdam prison until February 12 this year, when he will make another court appearance. It is alleged that on December 30, he carried out a series of robberies in the number 56 village area, where he stole 1 laptop valued at $150,000, 1 iPhone valued $100,000, and $92,000 in cash, all belonging to a Chinese resident living here. On the same day, he also allegedly robbed Kemraj Dindyal of 1 cell phone valued at $75,000, Chandani Jakdio of 2 cell phones valued at $120,000, $35,000 in cash and $62,000 in phone cards. The teen was also charged with stealing from Mark Fernandez of number 47 village on the quarantine. It was alleged that on January 24 of this year, he stole a quantity of silver jewelry belonging to Fernandez valued at $175,000. It is also alleged that on January 26 he stole from Danraj Sinot $270,000 in cash, and on the same day he stole from Vimlawati Ramdin $360,000 in cash and a quantity of gold jewelry valued at $300,000. They both reside at number 47 village. Join us after these messages for more of the evening news. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the evening news. A fire suspected to be electrical in nature completely razed a Grove East Bank house and causing severe damages to 2 nearby buildings. Bishar Mohammed was there at the scene and filed this report.
The fire, which started about 1400 hours, completely destroyed the Lot 55 Grove Public Road residence while scorching a building operated by Phoenix Water and another house owned by the Lals. At the time the fire started, no one was at home, and it was impossible to get into the house to salvage any household items since the place was heavily grilled. When this newscast arrived on the scene, the firefighters had already extinguished the flames and were conducting their investigations. There was also a heavy police presence to maintain law and order as they diverted traffic along the East Bank Highway. Lekram Maniram, who lives at Lot 56 Grove Public Road, East Bank, Demerara, explained when he received the call and what he saw when he arrived on the scene.
I'm at work, and my wife called me and said, not my wife, somebody, she gave the number, and they said that the house on fire next door. So I thought it's joke because people just make a rough joke. So when I get the next call, and I walk up place, I saw the fire coming down the same time. So I just decided to drive back the fire wheel. And once I come down and say, this house on fire. And I come, I didn't see no one around. My wife heard nobody. But I just rushed and rushed inside, it was fire. So I decided to start to some water and then get assistance and others to start to empty out the house.
Another woman, Kavita Lal, who was in her house when the fire started, said that she ran to safety, leaving everything behind.
I was lying down in the room and I hear a certain noise on the road. I saw the boys hollering, fire, fire. And when I run to the window to see what's going on, them boys look the house burning. When I look over to my neighbor's house, the house was in fire. I get so confused, I didn't know what to do. I run out of the house. Everything, because I just run out. I get confused. I didn't know what to do. I ran out. Me, my husband, and 2 daughters. Nobody was at home.
Vanessa Higgins, the occupant whose house and vehicles were destroyed, said that she has lost everything while noting that no one was at home when the fire started.
The mechanic over the road called me and told me the house on fire.
You were not at home at the time?
No.
Where were you?
At the church.
You were at church? Where's that?
Eccles Assembly. At a funeral. My mommy was there, but like, I didn't know, she leave already. And when I come home, I saw her. It says the electrical. I left, I ain't cook this morning. Say, well, I leave on any stove. I ain't cook. They said the wire was sparking from the house to the post.
Meanwhile, Indal Singh, manager of Phoenix Water, said that he was not at the business place when the fire started, but his workers managed to save some of the tanks while some were severely damaged, along with sections of the building. A senior fireman told Evening News that when the fire started, the fire tenders from Diamond responded, but after they could not have handled the situation, another one from West Rumvelt was deployed, and later 2 from Central Fire Station joined to render assistance. He also confirmed that there were challenges in tapping into a water source, which thwarted their efforts to salvage the buildings. He, however, stated that the firefighters managed to curtail the blaze to one building. Bisham Mohammed at Evening News.
You're watching the Evening News. Join us after these messages for more news. Welcome back. Officials of the Caribbean community CARICOM have joined the list of countless supporters in condemning the actions of a Partnership for National Unity APNU to continue the delay in the passage of the anti-money laundering legislation. Alexis Rodney reports.
In a statement issued to the press, CARICOM has called on all parties involved in the process to take all necessary actions to have the reforms speedily implemented. CARICOM believes that the non-passage of the Anti-Money Laundering, Combating the Financing of Terrorism Bill in Parliament could very well have an adverse effect on the Guyanese economy and by extent the Caribbean community. The release added that, and I quote, any action that reduces the ease or increases the cost of processing international financial or trade transactions will adversely affect trade and financial flow in the region, unquote. The Organization of American States had yesterday made a similar call through its General Secretary, Jose Miguel Insulza. The Secretary General, who has been closely following the event in Guyana, noted that the passage of the bill will make Guyana compliant with the requirements of the Caribbean Action Task Force, thereby preventing unnecessary damage to the country's financial structure. He had also offered the support of his organization in this regard. Guyana stands in limbo while concerns mount over the country's fate if politicians, particularly opposition leaders, do not come to a mutual agreement and allow the bill a smooth passage. The Financial Task Force has given the country a February 13 deadline. However, based on the way things are going, it appears as though that deadline will not be met. For the Evening News, I'm Alexis Rodney.
The People's Progressive Party on Tuesday rubbished sentiments which suggested that the government does not want the passage of the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Bill to occur. Here's more.
General Secretary of the PPP, Clement Rohi, questioned the motive of persons who made the allegations, noting that if government was not dedicated to the passage of the bill, then it would not have spent much time making adjustments to have the bill passed. He made this comment during the party's weekly press conference, where he was questioned on government's reluctance to set up a public procurement commission as requested by the AFC.
I don't know where this view is coming from, that this government is palm-possessing in respect of the bill, which it is pushing aggressively, spend so many hours, man-hours, to deal with this matter.
On the other hand, Rohi questioned the opposition's motive in putting forward all these conditions in order to give their approval for the passage of the bill. On Monday, leader of AFC Kemraj Ramjatan reiterated his party's position on the passage of the bill.
Well, we clearly have stated our position a long time ago. If there is no procurement established and operationalized, we are not going to support the anti-money laundering bill.
The General Secretary said that the AFC is asking for the removal of powers which was instilled in the cabinet by the Constitution.
I think the government has spoken, the government spokespersons, I should say, have spoken ad nauseum on the issue or the concession which the opposition is seeking to wrest from the hands of the government. That is to say, to remove the cabinet from the whole question of no objections to contracts. This is a major concession. You're seeking to remove the cabinet rule from even foreign funded projects and to put it in the hands of an unknown quantity.
After 3 referrals to the Special Select Committee, the Anti-Money Laundering Countering the Financing of Terrorism Bill has not been approved by the National Assembly. CFTF had given Guyana a February 13 deadline to make adjustments and pass the bill. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manik-chan.
The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit KANU has issued a wanted bulletin for the arrest of Don Roberts in connection with the large quantity of cocaine found in Achar over the weekend at the Chedijagan International Airport. Anyone that has information on her whereabouts can contact KANU at 227-3507. Roberts' address was given as 9 North Road border, Georgetown, where she operates a shop. On Monday, the couple who was apprehended at the CGIA with the cocaine appeared before Chief Magistrate Priya Sunaran Behari on charges of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. U.S. citizen Winston Blake, 77, and his Guyanese accomplice Sadiqa Neola Odi, 38, of Lot 186 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown, pleaded not guilty to the charge, which states that on Saturday, February 8, at the CGIA, they attempted to traffic 20 kilograms of cocaine. The anomalies were spotted while their luggage was being scanned, prompting Customs Anti-Narcotics KANU ranks to question the man and woman who were outgoing passengers on a U.S.-bound BW526 flight to John F. Kennedy Airport, New York. More news after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. A man appeared in court today before Chief Magistrate Priya Sunaran Behari at the Georgetown Magistrates Court to answer to the charge of possession of unlicensed firearm. Keon Kelvin, 25, of Lot YY8, North La Penitence, Georgetown, and a labourer by profession, was charged today after it was alleged that the Guyana Police Force that on Friday, February 7, in the vicinity of North La Penitence, he had in his possession a 1.9 mm pistol. It was also alleged that on the day in questioning, the accused had in his possession 5.9 mm ammunition. The defendant pleaded not guilty to both charges. Prosecutor Michael Grant noted that from information received, they contacted the accused. He then took the ranks to his address where he resides. During a search conducted, the said articles were recovered. The accused was then told of the offences and subsequently arrested. Attorney at law Paul Fungafat said that his client was not aware of the articles found, and the defendant was never found with the said articles in his possession. On these grounds, he pleaded with Chief Magistrate to grant bail. Bail was refused by the court, and he is expected to return on February 25. President Donald Ramotar said the leaders within the Caribbean and Latin American regions need to take a stand against every social issue that affects people and has urged them to work towards the total eradication of these concerns. Alexis Rodney has the details.
President Ramotar made the call while addressing religious leaders in Latin America and the Caribbean Sunday evening at the Guyana International Conference Center. He had urged leaders that while they seek to attain their objective of fostering unity among faith-based groups, that they also pay close attention to the social plagues that are responsible for the waning of the society and to also suggest solutions that will help to lessen their effects. Ramotar said that poverty, injustice, hunger and inequality continue to take center stage in many of these societies. And although Latin America and the Caribbean have made significant strides in tackling some of these issues, there still remains an urgency for leaders, both in the religious and political realm, to work together.
The inequalities that exist this region, Latin America and the Caribbean, continues to be the most unequal region in the world as far as distribution of income is concerned. And not only us, politicians, and government officials must be concerned about this. This must be a central concern of every regional, international, and local religious organization.
The president said figures have revealed that 85 of the richest people in the world have control of more wealth when compared with the wealth owned by the bottom 3 billion people globally. He said that issue has been condemned by the head of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lagarde, pointing out that it must say something about its repulsiveness.
She practically said that one of the things that would be holding back the further development of societies is the unequal distribution of wealth in the world.
President Ramatar had himself made the bold step in this regard when last week he, along with a delegation of government officials, attended the second summit of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States in Havana, Cuba. He was among 33 heads of government attending the meeting to work around areas that will somehow help to resolve the many global issues. Held under the theme Eradication of Hunger, Poverty and Inequality in Latin America and the Caribbean States, fruitful discussions emanated from the meeting, reports state. For the evening news, I'm Alexis Rodney.
Amid complaints of continually being molested by the police, the teen who on January 29 staged a rooftop protest in Robb Street after he felt the justice system had failed him may finally get justice, as his file is with the head of the Police Complaints Authority, Cecil Kennard. Briefly speaking on the subject, Kennard said that he received the file on Friday and was in the process of reviewing it. The young man has staged a rooftop protest on Robb Street after he claimed he was raped by ranks stationed at the Stabroek outpost after he was arrested for prostitution. The teen told this newscast on Saturday that after 2 identification parades, he was unable to positively identify the perpetrators since he believes the wrong set of policemen was put in the lineup. He added that the first parade consisted of 8 police ranks and the second had 14, but these ranks, he noted, were not from Georgetown, hence his difficulties being able to identify his assailants. The young man suggested that the Commission of Police inspect the records at the Stabroek outpost to ascertain which police officers were on duty the night that he was allegedly sodomized. The teen also accused the police ranks of covering for each other. More news still ahead. Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The recent revelation of the monthly income for the current Commissioner of Information, Justice Charles Ramson Sr., has raised several eyebrows. Let's find out why in this report. Based on a request from Alliance for Change Member of Parliament Cathy Hughes, it was revealed yesterday that Commissioner of Information Justice Charles Ramson Sr. works for a monthly net income of $1.2 million. This revelation has since left many members of Parliament, particularly those on the opposition side of the House, to raise several concerns regarding the Commissioner's hefty salary. It has also raised several eyebrows of concerned Guyanese. In a written response to 5 questions, Prime Minister Samuel Hinds revealed to the National Assembly that there has been no publication in the official Gazette and in a daily newspaper of information on public authorities, among other things. To date, the Commission has never received a single application. Apart from the Commissioner, 2 members of staff have been employed. In addition to that, Ramson also receives an allowance for cell phone. Ramson was sworn in as Commissioner of Information on July 15 last year. He is a former Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister. He is also retired Justice of Appeal. The Freedom of Information Act was passed in 2011 September. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Samuel Sugnandan. The Community Development Council CDC has launched a community bread project which is being piloted in farm on the west coast of Demerara. The details in this report. CDC Director Philomena Sahoy Shuri said that the project is aimed at helping communities become more self-sufficient while developing a spirit of entrepreneurship among residents. Sahoy Shuri told this newscast that she hopes to take the project to other communities soon. The CDC, she said, is working with members in farm to look at a cost-effective way of baking fresh bread.
This project, you don't bake with gas. We make box ovens with 2 coal pots. We are also giving the people that have the coal a piece of money because we have to buy from them. That project is not in full bloom, but it has started.
Sahoy Shuri said that she's optimistic about the project and looks forward to it becoming successful and having it set up in communities across the country.
With the project, I give them the flour, sugar, lard, butter, yeast. Some of them, I might help them with some pans because they're to go around the community. Oh, and you got a lot of baking pans around the community. It's going to take, everything takes time. But I know that when you see I get the baking project on the hill, many of these people that selling bread, they're in trouble.
Asked what the project will do for these communities, the CDC director said it will help to create a small income which could be used for developmental projects. She explained that a team in the community will be given responsibility to handle the weekly baking. Different teams will be given different days to bake and sell the bread. The money garnered from these sales will then be used for projects within the communities. This could include small repairs to bridges, community centers, or any other thing that is deemed important. At present, there are approximately 400 CDCs across Ghana in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. The CDC falls under the Office of the President. It was created by the late President Dr. Cheddi Jagan with the aim to bring in people in the community together and helping to create projects that would assist them in developing their respective villages. The team of the CDC is uniting communities across Ghana. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandit. The accused that shot and killed his 20-year-old ex-lover on All Year's Night appeared in court today before Chief Magistrate Priya Sunaran Bahari at the Georgetown Magistrates Court as more witnesses testified in the case. It was alleged that on December 31, 2013, at the Kentucky Fried Chicken sidewalk at approximately 9 hours, Jermaine Maynard, 40 of Leopold and Cross Street, Working Rust, shot Clarissa Matthews, 20 of Lot 2284, North Rhineville housing scheme to the back of her head. She was pronounced dead at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Ranks from the Ghana Police Force testified on their actions in the case on All Year's Night leading to January 6, 2014. After some intense rivalry last Saturday evening at the New Amsterdam Stelling Road, 13 artists were given the nod of judges as they sang their way into the Carib Soca Monarch Finals, billed for the National Park this weekend. Bishar Mohammed reports.
After 30 minutes of deliberation by the judges, the final 13 were announced by Lesden Lashley and Nigel Rorrell of Answer McCall. They include Shelly G, Passion, Roger B, Kemi, Bonesman, Vanilla Lil Red, Lady T, AJ, Avalanche, Ace, and Mysterious. Those who did not make the cut were Azula, Maxwell, G Money, and Natoya London. Based on the semi-finals, there were a few artists who are capable of dethroning reigning soca monarch Jomo Primo come Saturday evening. One of such persons is 2009 soca queen Shalon Shelly G Garraway, who outperformed most of her competitors with her raunchy lyrics and with her eye-catching outfit, which had many looking in amazement. Garraway, who won the title back in 2009 with Daggerin, stormed the stage to dish out her piece, Party Animal. Another contender who can win this year is Burbishan Melissa Vanilla Roberts, who dished out Yada Yada. A hyped Roger Bowen performed Love, denouncing hate and crime, but with a touch of soca rhythm. Roger B is another potential contestant who can cop the top prize. Also creating some vibes at the semi-finals was Jonathan Little Red King with his tune Who Are We, which was seen as the best entry in the Carib Soca Monarch but did not perform to his fans' expectations. This year, with something saucier, Kwesi Ace Edmondson dished out Still in the Game, and indeed from his performance, he had a right to say so. He was superb as he took to the stage as one of the favourites to win the competition. Orlando Boone's Van Johansen was full of energy and undoubtedly had the audience enjoying every minute of his performance. Meanwhile, Barbizon turned out in their numbers to witness an evening of intense rivalry among the contestants in the 10th annual Carib Soca Monarch as they battled to secure a space in the finals. The evening started late, but after a spectacular performance from the Heatwaves band, the raindrops started to trickle down, followed by heavy downpour, turning the atmosphere into a perfect night for a Juve party for some. Others were seen scampering for covers wherever there was shade, even if it meant under the stage. Bishar Mohammed at the Evening News.
Join us after these messages for your sport news. Welcome back. In the headlines, Cecil Kennard resigns from GHRA. Synthetic track said to be functional in 2014. Buster Champion of Champions cricket tournament bowls off on Sunday. Our sportscast is brought to you with the kind compliments of MacCorp.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. But that is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. MacCorp, let's build Guyana together.
And now for the news in detail. Retired Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Cecil Kennard, has resigned as first Vice President of the Guyana Horse Racing Authority, GHRA, with immediate effect. Rajiv Bisnot reports.
Kennard tendered his resignation this afternoon to the Guyana Horse Racing Authority President Vic Odit, just 3 days after he was voted into the position. Meanwhile, Kennard, in an exclusive interview, said having lost the presidency, he was not inclined to accept any other position in the GHRA.
There are two main reasons. One of it, the behavior of some members present was quite atrocious, quite unbecoming, and that atrocious behavior was performed in the presence of Mr. Stephen Ninval, Deputy Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports. I thought it was very disrespectful to the minister's representative for people to behave that way.
He further lamented that the voting process also forced him to quit.
Another reason, in my opening remarks, I said there are two clubs, Portmore Turf Club, Alness Turf Club, had not paid their affiliation fee for the last year. And I'd expect an opinion they should not be entitled to vote. The fact that other clubs had paid. As a matter of fact, the Ryan Crawford Memorial Turf Club has not run a race meeting at its track for a long time now. And I felt the fact that you have not paid your affiliation fee is illegal, and you're permitted to vote. It was quite improper, and therefore I don't intend to be a party to what I will consider illegality.
Despite his resignation, Kennard said he remains supportive towards the development of his sport. He also called on a new body to ensure that the sport is properly managed and for an early passage of the horse racing legislation. Odit, who was elected president when the sport was resuscitated, did not seek re-election in 2011 after he had expressed outrage with the attitude of some members of the GHRA. However, he got a thumbs up from members on Sunday with 10 votes as against 8 for Kennard. Odit will serve in the post for 1 year until the next annual general meeting. The meeting was attended by 6 racetracks, along with horse owners, trainers and other stakeholders. The Kennard Memorial, Portmore, Ryan Crawford, Buddens, Bushlot and Rising Sun Turf Clubs were allowed to engage in the voting process at Sunday's general meeting.
The 10th annual Rose Hall Town Youth and Sports Club, RHTY and SC Buster Champion of Champions cricket tournament for the top cricket clubs in Berbice will bowl off on Saturday at 4 venues in the ancient county. The tournament hosted by the RHTY and SC and is sponsored by the Ghana Beverage Company on its Buster brand. The tournament will involve Upper Quarantine, RHT Gizmos and Gadgets, Albion, West Berbice, Young Warriors, Universal, DVD, Blairmont Community Centre, Port Morant, Carby Rise and Universal Solution, Burmine. Athletes might be in for a treat in the third quarter of the year after Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Sport, Steve Ninval, visited the site on Saturday. Tristan Joseph reports.
After many delays, the rubber-based surface is completely laid but will need a week of full sunshine for the color and lane markings to be sprayed onto the black surface by German company BSW Regapol. In the meantime, developmental works around the site are moving apace.
And one of the major developments is the construction of this stand here, which is the eastern stand. I think it's about 65 to 70% completed. The roof needs to be on. We are concerned, of course, with the pace that the contractors are going at, but nevertheless, there is the development, but development at a pace that we are not comfortable with.
Managing Director of Innovative Engineering Consultancy Services, Dheeraj Dalchan, explained some of the work that has been ongoing and gave the new deadlines for specific sections of the track.
The stands are expected to be finished in March. The clubhouse is expected to finish in July. The roads are expected to be finished at the end of April. And overall, we are looking at this project being functional, providing we can get the track laid, we can get some good weather, probably in the third quarter of this year.
The material for the spraying and finishing of the synthetic surface is already in Guyana, waiting the 1 week window to complete the job on the synthetic surface.
Join us after these messages for your bridge reports.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. That is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer, Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. Mark on. Let's build Guyana together.
Welcome back. Before your bridge reports, remember you can read about these and other stories aired in tonight's newscast in the Guyana Times newspaper, which can be picked up from vendors across the country. When you're not reading our newspaper or watching TVG Channel 28, do also remember to tune into RGI on 89.3, 89.5 or 89.7 FM. And now for a look at your bridge reports. The Denmark Harbour Bridge will be closed on Wednesday, February 12 at 14 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Wednesday, February 12 at 16 hours 10 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Tuesday, February 11, 2014 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Suknandon. Thanks for joining us.